Getting into real estate as a source of generational wealth is something that many of us dream of being able to do. It's one of those investment strategies that is tried and true. The rewards outweigh the risks when it comes to owning investment properties if done right, but the upfront costs can make the barrier to entry difficult for most people. But does it have to be super expensive to get started in real estate? In fact, can you actually get started for free? Well, I'm sure you know there's nothing in this world that is completely free. There's always some sort of cost included, even if it's hidden in the fine print. And anyone telling you that something is completely free most likely has access to your social security number and is just waiting on you to confirm your address so that they can wipe out your accounts. For real though, there's always some kind of cost included when purchasing expensive things like houses. Listen, I don't want to sell you a pipe dream here, okay? Because I know what the title of this video kind of infers. But there are some ways to get started in investing in real estate for little to nothing down, which can give you an opportunity to start building additional streams of income and generational wealth for your future. So the first strategy to getting into real estate with no money down is house hacking. Okay, so house hacking is pretty simple to break down. You buy a small multifamily home, about 2 to 4 rooms, okay? You move into it and then you rent out the additional rooms. So your neighbors or your tenants, your roommates, their rent covers the cost of your mortgage and other, housing costs as well. And you can essentially live there for free. And then when you move out, you can keep it as a traditional rental property and the cash flow only improves from there. Okay, so the question though is, how does this affect your down payment? Because we're talking about no money down here, okay? Well, usually lenders will require a much lower down payment if you are going to be owner occupied, if the property is going to be owner occupied. So you'll be able to get a better bargain with actually living there at first, okay, on your down payment, a better bargain on your down payment. So the question is what low down payment program is the best in this sort of situation? And one of those loan programs is the FHA loan, which allows a 3.5% down payment as long as your credit score is 580, okay? So it's 3.5% down payment as long as your credit score is 580. But FHA is not the only program. There's a lot of other traditional loan programs that offer even lower down payments. So it'll just be a matter of just looking those up and seeing which one works for you. Sometimes though, it requires a higher, credit score and different things like that. So you want to look into that. But FHA is your traditional standard low down payment program. So the next method of getting started in real estate with hardly any money down or no money at all is the BRRRR method, or the BRRRR method, okay? Now this method will require cash up front, but you get the money back, okay? So the BRRRR acronym stands for, so it's buy, renovate, rent, finance, repeat. That's the BRRRR method. So it works like this. You buy a fixer-upper with a purchase rehab loan, which does involve a down payment. So then you renovate the distressed property using the money from that loan, okay? So all the upgrades and all the things that you're gonna purchase for the rehab, you'll be using that purchase rehab loan. So when the renovations are finished, okay, you wanna refinance the property with a long-term landlord loan, and then you'll pull your original cash back out. It works because the new landlord loan is based on the new after repair value, or the ARV of that property, and not what you originally or initially paid for, okay? So it's gonna be based on the ARV value of that property after it's been rehabbed. So if you make sufficient equity, you can pull some cash out when you refinance to cover that initial down payment. Now the BRRRR method is more suited for more advanced investors, people who kind of like know what they're doing. It's not really ideal for beginners because there's a lot of risk involved and things like that. You're having to actually rehab a distressed property, and it involves a lot more risk, but the rewards are pretty great if you know what you're doing, okay? Now the third strategy to being able to get started in real estate for no money down or as low money down as possible is the seller financing method. Now, some people don't have to really go through loan programs in order to be able to finance a home. Sellers sometimes will help you with financing on their own. And sometimes sellers will allow you to negotiate any loan terms that you want, including the possibility of buying a rental property with no money down. Now, this strategy works especially well for sellers who have no mortgage. Okay, they've already paid their mortgage off. Or sellers who inherited the property and don't really know what to do with it. You know, maybe the property needs repairs and the seller doesn't have the cash, to make those repairs. It could be any reason. So oftentimes they're happy to accept monthly, regular payments for the property. And then they can make that quick income and not have to worry about third parties like, real estate agents and, dealing with commissions and things like that. So sometimes, sellers will be willing to just work with you one-on-one and have that, loan arrangement made with you, and then you just pay it on a monthly basis, and it's much easier for them. So this could be a very effective way to not have to, put any money down on your first rental property. Another method to getting started with real estate with hardly any money is the REIT method, or the REIT method. And REIT basically stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, and it's an investment in which at least 100 shareholders co-own a group of properties or other real estate assets. So think of it like a mutual fund, but for real estate. So REITs allow you a very low time commitment and allows you to diversify your portfolio and minimize the risk with a much lower barrier to entry. Okay, so you're sharing that risk amongst 100 different people. So it's a much easier way to get started, and it's a lot less risky. So the next method of getting started with real estate with hardly any money is to assume the seller's mortgage. So even if the seller isn't willing to negotiate any sort of financing with them with no third party involved, you may still be able to negotiate a way to purchase the home with no money down. So what you can do is you can offer to assume the seller's mortgage and make payments on that mortgage on their behalf. So what you do is you basically step into their remaining loan, hopefully it's a low interest loan, and you would just only have to come up with the remaining difference. Okay, that from the loan they've already started paying. Just be careful about triggering the due on sale clause on their existing mortgage. Okay, remember, when you buy a property with conventional financing, a lot of the times lenders won't allow you to borrow the down payment, go out and borrow the down payment. They want you to actually have some skin in the game. Okay, so in this case though, you're not actually going out and borrowing a mortgage. You are assuming one that already exists, and then you're paying the seller separate for any of the difference. So that means you can pay them however you want. Another way to get into real estate without hardly any money down is to negotiate a seller-held second mortgage. So say you find a lender willing to negotiate 80% of the purchase price for a landlord loan, but you don't have the money to cover the 20% down payment. One place to borrow the money is the seller once again. So not every lender will allow this, so you'll have to do a lot of negotiating with the seller to offer you a second mortgage, and you'll want to talk to your primary lender first. It's also worth noting that FHAs do not allow seller-held second mortgages. If you like this video, let me know in the comments if you plan on getting started in real estate. What strategy do you think will work best for you in your life? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to join the tea party. Help your girl out. And until next time, y'all, bye.